make it very difficult for your opponent to determine when you want to counter their shots. It needs to be as disguised as possible. So oftentimes, if you're trying to counter your opponent and you're finding that they're anticipating your counter more often than not, they're being able to detect exactly when you want to counter. It's not necessarily their ability to determine that, but it's probably more so your lack of ability to blend it into the rest of your boxing. You're doing something to give it away. One of the most common problems that I see when it comes to people trying to counter and being unsuccessful is the following. They'll defend, they'll be nice and relaxed, they'll be moving around, they'll be getting their shots out, they'll be defending. Then when it comes to time to counter, they change. They might freeze up their feet, they might lift up their head, yeah? They'll do something that communicates to their opponent, I'm about to do something. I'm waiting for you so I can counter. And then straight away the opponent becomes apprehensive, they know what they're up to, so they're not going to give them a committed shot, or they might start feinting them. So you need to make it as inconspicuous as possible when you want to counter. If you're nice and relaxed when you're moving around and defending, yeah, you know, I don't intend to really counter any of these shots, so I'm going to stay nice and relaxed and do a good job at defending. And then all of a sudden, when you determine the time that you want to counter, you change, you're giving it away. So it's really important to counter off a relaxed state that you were in leading up to that intended time to counter. This is really important. So again, if I'm nice and relaxed, I'm moving, I'm slipping, I'm cool, boom, they're giving me the shots, I'm nice and relaxed, and then I want to counter and I'll do this. I'll freeze up, I'll shake my hands, I lift my head up, I'll do something, I change, I'm giving it away. And the likeliness of me being successful with my counter is significantly lower as opposed to staying nice and relaxed, okay? So what I want you to do now is nice and relaxed, still nice tight guard, slipping, parrying, you know, and when you do your counter, make sure you're not changing. Make sure you're blending it in, okay? So you're doing it immediately, that's the first one. The second one, you're blending it into the way you were boxing leading up to that time that you wanted to counter. I hope I'm making sense. Let's go. Moving around, defending, slipping, and then when you want to counter, it shouldn't be too different to the tempo and the approach and the vibe that you were creating leading up to that moment. Good. Don't change. Boom. Good. Nice. And you can spend more time doing this in your own time. Good. Don't worry about too much about the punches. Worry about the concept. You're nice and relaxed. You know, trying to counter immediately off it, immediately off that shot, and trying to blend the counter into the way you're defending all the punches nice and relaxed leading up to it. So your opponent has no idea when you're going to counter. Good. Time. Another important thing is that you're not counting.